Hey everybody, it's Connor, just Connor. Welcome to the Hoopercast Movie Hour. This is another television episode, and I am going to go ahead and intro this because I am fairly confident this will win no Emmys, and I don't think it ever did. I didn't even check, just because that's how fastidious I am with my facts on this podcast. This is the Bosch Legacy episode, and I've talked about this show before, I think, on the podcast. I don't know. You figure it out. Have I? I don't know. And I saw the series finale, and I wanted to talk about it with Dustin. But not only did I want to talk about the series finale, I was much more interested in how corporate-owned streaming services and their business model ruins TV shows. And unfortunately, I think that Bosch Legacy is a casualty of that. It's not an awful show. I was into it, but there were certain ways that it was not as good as the original Bosch series, which I loved, that ran for 7 seasons on Amazon Prime, on Prime Video. And this 3-season spinoff, Bosch Legacy, just didn't measure up to the standard set by that show, even though it's got a lot of the same people involved and a lot of the same cast. Just, it wasn't what I hoped it would be. And it gives me no confidence to watch the new spinoff they're making. And I'll explain all of that why in this episode. If there's one thing that Harry Bosch can teach all of us this day and age, the way that everything is going out there, there's this axiom that he sort of lived by as a cop. It was what mainly frustrated him about having the limits of a big bureaucracy sanctioning or not sanctioning his actions, which is a big part of his character, and how much outside the lines is he going to color and for what reasons. But the axiom was everybody counts or nobody counts. I keep thinking about that lately, and I just want everyone to remember that. Everybody counts or nobody counts. We should have a standard of decency and reasonability with everybody, regardless of who they are, and regardless of what we think they do or don't deserve. And that's all I'll say about that. Please enjoy me talking about why I didn't enjoy, ultimately, in the end, Bosch Legacy.
I have a bone to pick with Bosch Legacy.
Okay.
I just heard a story about my dad, about his time in Afghanistan.
It was war.
War crime, more like. Just got me wondering, what other secrets does he have?
You really want to know? Bosch has crossed a lot of lines in his long and checkered career.
But murder? You honestly think he would set up a prison hit?
To murder the scumbag who abducted Madeline Bosch.
If it was my daughter, I'd skin him alive.
Justice will be done.
One way or another.
My family's missing.
Family of 4 doesn't just disappear.
What do you think?
This was a hit. Case involved fentanyl.
You talking drug cartel? The public is terrified on both sides of the border.
You guys are being played. We all are.
You got any proof?
That body's on enough for you?
Oh, you an insufferable asshole.
I've been called worse. You and I pulled a few ops together back in the day. You up for another?
Are you going down there to get him or take him out?
Well, you know when I get home.
That's not good enough. Please.
Bienvenido a Mexico.
When you do this work, you go into the darkness. Some of that darkness has gotten into you. Is there anything you want to tell me? What if someone might be crossing a line? Would I have to rat them out?
You have to decide how much of the gray you're willing to live in.
So I recently watched the season finale of Bosch Legacy, which is a spinoff show from the Amazon Prime Video series Bosch, which had 7 or 8 seasons, and that I really liked. Stars Titus Welliver as Harry Bosch, the main character, and a lot of the a few of these characters from that show are in this spinoff. Mimi Rogers, Madison Lintz, and these are all based on the novels by Michael Connelly. So at some point in the novels, Bosch leaves the LAPD and he becomes a private detective or a private investigator. And so Bosch Legacy covers his adventures as a private investigator, untethered from his badge, and more kind of independent. And Bosch is a character that's always sort of like really towed the line, like very much like operated in the gray area of justice, and has never been nailed for it. Like there's been investigations, there's been people who've tried to exploit that against him, and it never ends up sticking for one reason or another. And so some of that is kind of starting to catch up to him in this show. And all this time, his daughter Madison is becoming like is now a cop in the LAPD, and working for this powerful attorney who's in this season trying to run to be the district attorney of LA. So it's a whole thing. And it's just one of those cop shows, man. And it's a good, like I said, good, mature, complex, and treated with some gravitas while still keeping somewhat like just enough procedural structure to where you can you feel like it's familiar. So you're not like guessing what kind of show it is all the time. You're just like, oh, this is a procedural show, but like the cops are like, it's just, I don't want to say, oh, but the cops are not always squeaky clean, as if that's a new thing. Like NYPD Blue doesn't exist, but it's just like, that's what it is. That's Harry Bosch. So I love Bosch. And I like to see as much Bosch as Amazon will allow to be made. But this finale was rushed, unsatisfying, and undefinitive. It just kind of ends. And that's like it. Right. And I'm just like, okay, this wasn't even that big of like a thing for him to be doing. Like the stakes don't feel as high as they've been in other finales.
Previous seasons, yeah.
And I come to find out it's because Amazon canceled the show during the filming of the finale.
Wow.
So when Bosch ended, the main show, after being canceled in spite of great ratings, because it's the 7th season of a streaming show, and so for them it's like new subscribers, new stuff.
Yep.
They slashed the budget to allow Bosch Legacy to happen. Now they're slashing the budget again to make another spinoff of this spinoff for this character Renee Ballard, this Maggie Q character who comes in like 2 episodes before the show ends, and is like, a colleague. She's a character in the book. She's like a frequent colleague of Bosch. And so they're making a show about her now
for her. Sure.
And it's like, okay, so take half of the Bosch budget, that's Legacy. Take half of that budget, that's Ballard. And we'll just end shows that are good quickly. And so you can tell that they found out the show was canceled during the filming of the finale because they're building to something that has to just stop. And so it just sort of, and it doesn't even crescendo in an unbelievably fast way. It's just
done
to where you're like, it's basically begging you, please Google if we canceled this show.
Wow.
It's not that I don't think these shows can be good, but this is an example of streaming ruining TV. Had this been on broadcast or HBO, the quality and continuation of the show would have been enough for them to keep it going because ads and cable subscriptions would foot the bill, right? But because it's streaming, they want new shit to entice new signups. And as we've said before, not only is that incentive not sustainable, but it ruins shows because they either have their budgets neutered or they're prematurely canceled without a chance for resolution. Mythic Quest just got canceled over on Apple TV Plus, and the only reason that show will get a real ending is because they shot an alternate finale just in case they got canceled, because they were like, hey, this happens. Shot an alternate finale. Turns out they were right. And when they heard the news after the original finale had already aired, they announced they'd be updating the finale and re-releasing it for the fans.
Wow.
So that they could have closure.
Wow.
It shouldn't come to this.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, I say watch Botched the series. Watch the series and either watch Legacy with the awareness that you'll finish feeling unsatisfied, or just ask me the handful of key character developments and skip it altogether, because fuck you, Amazon.
Wow.
It's so crazy, man. Like, and to put that amount of like years and resources into a show, and, you know, for the creators and for the viewers,
Yeah,
to like,
totally.
and then it just whoop,
Done.
and it's just done. And and then you have to Google it. And then all of a sudden you're just aware of like business decisions, and and it shouldn't be that. It should be, like it should, ideally they do it right, but plan B is it ends, but it still makes sense.
Sure.
And then later you find out it's not coming back.
Yeah.
Not, oh, that sucked. What's up with that? Let me go Google let me go find the press release about this.
Yeah.
Like a normal person shouldn't be thinking about that after watching a TV show.
Totally.
You've failed to disconnect people from reality in that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's the fact that shows are planning or shooting and putting resources into alternate finales because they know they can't trust their networks to let them know stuff in time to write stuff. Unbelievable.
This has long been an issue with television. Like, how many shows exist that don't have proper closure because they end up, ending before they were ready?
Yeah.
Like, this happens all the time. In an ideal world, it would never happen, right?
Yeah.
Like the studios would know something is going to change early enough that the creatives can create something satisfying. But even still, it almost begs the question, like, when purchasing a show, should you go ahead and give them a guarantee of X amount of time in order to A, properly like get the audience used to the characters, and B, then also finish the story, right? Because so many shows also end before the characters and anything can kind of catch on. And like comedies are notorious for this, that it takes like a season for the cast to settle into those roles and like for it to, become good.
Yeah.
And the writers to write to actors' strengths and whatever else. So like, we know that happens, but I guess the bottom line is, from a business perspective, that's a really dumb thing to do.
Yeah.
So there's really no way around it, but it's just an unfortunate scenario with television that the rug can be pulled out from under you at any time.
Yeah. And I get why it is the way it is, because there's probably a minority, even as many people as I feel like are suddenly made aware of business decisions in TV.
Yeah.
Just by mere curiosity of, wow, this finale felt rushed. I wonder what that's about. It's still just the majority of people who are just like, well, okay, it's over. Like, and just don't think about it. And I hate it because as much as I'm always reminded that like film and TV shows are a product for the masses, and the masses generally don't ask too many questions, it still doesn't change the fact that it's supposed to be like the best stuff is made by artists. It's not made by people who would be satisfied by what the masses will accept. It's several notches above what is required to entertain the average person. And the idea that that no one can come in and strike a deal and be like, listen, you got to give us at least 2 seasons to do this show, period.
Yeah.
And if you're going to cancel us, you have to tell us, you basically have to give me a season of notice. You have to tell me, hey, you get this, your next season's your last one. So make sure you write a good, final season. And then at least you can write to a finale.
Sure.
Or change the episode count if you have to, or whatever. you know, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't see why they can't just do that. Like, I get that it's X amount of millions of dollars they have to spend on a show that's failing, but you know, I don't know. I guess you can't really put a price on the goodwill that comes from the audience that appreciates that, because some people don't even know that you don't do that now.
Right. It's weird because if you compare TV to its, you know, other like most alike analog, it would be like books, right? And with a book, if you plan a book series and you write books and then eventually your publisher drops you, you can always self-publish or move on to a different publisher or whatever. Yeah. And finish the story that you've intended. And it'll find the right audience. With television, there's really not much of a way to do that. So, you know, we recently heard that Ryan Coogler had a pretty interesting negotiation with Warner Brothers for Sinners, which was after X amount of years, I forget what it was, 20 years, whatever it was, the rights revert back to him at pure ownership to him of that film. I wonder if there's a world where a TV creator could ever say, listen, as part of the negotiation here, like the story is very important to me and we're building to something important. So as part of the negotiation, can we build into the contract something that says if our show hits X number of viewers at any time during our run, then and then it's canceled, you must foot the bill for a film to finalize for those viewers the story or whatever it is. Or, okay, as part of the negotiation, if you cancel the show when viewership is actually on an upswing, which would never happen on network television, but does happen on streaming. Or if within 1 year following its cancellation, the show continues to build an audience on streaming, because shows don't get removed, right? So it can still find its audience even after it is canceled. If that happens, you must foot the bill for, you know, a future installment, whatever it looks like. Or once the show is canceled, if you cancel the show for any of these aforementioned reasons or whatever, then all ownership reverts back to us to either resell to another group or, you know, fund ourselves through Kickstarter or whatever, but like it's our own at that point and we can do whatever we want. And that'd be the closest way that a creator could say, I want to finish this story. But it also means that the creators have to have some sort of overarching vision from the get-go that they're excited about and want to tell despite all of these crazy hurdles. We also know that a lot of showrunners and creators don't have that drive. And so they create something not knowing where it's going to go. So for them, there's not much of we'll just move on to something else. There's not much of a drive to put a lot of legwork into repitching and reformulating, you know, I don't know, but it just feels like there should be some way that the creator can then finalize the story they intended to tell with the resources they had, or at least something comparable. So I don't know. It's a weird world that like TV can just be completely removed, like all resources gone, story never ended. And that sucks, but I think it's it's just obviously it's a bummer. I mean, it's a bummer, you know, but it's like on the highest level, it's like, that's not even, I don't know. It's just one of those things where you go like, you want these companies to like care about stories. And it's like, I'm sorry. We don't. Did you think we did? I don't care about that at all. I care about money. What are you, stupid? Yeah, right. Sorry, I'm the one that dropped $90 million. Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. That's I care $90 million worth, you know. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's nuts. So yep. Okay. Would you say it's a botched legacy? Dustin, look at you, buddy. You're on fire. Putting a button on these. Dustin's finally helping me title these episodes after 500 odd. Which is nice because, you know, we can't name them the dirty ones that I come up with first. So yeah, we have to cut those out. Do you remember when I used to put those in the Google Doc? Yes. I had to stop that because we were laughing at things we couldn't then explain. Yeah, that's right.
All right, everybody. Bye. The dirty one for this would be Bosch Pegacy. Pegged me, see? Oh. Pegged me, see?